change. It's really good. However, depends upon who you ask. Hey,
Good
Brett, good to see you.
morning, Tom. Happy turkeys +1.
Yeah, plus one. Hey, I hope you guys you're celebrating today.
We
Uh,
are. We're doing Turkey Friday, and we got to get this show on the road because there's a Bears game on at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
right?
So
So
I
get
don't care what is all. I don't care if the turkey's on fire. I don't care if the dog's eating the stuffing out of the off the stovetop. All things will come to an end about 3 o'clock today.
right. Whatever's happening around me doesn't matter. Don't expect too much. I'm gonna be glued to the set.
Exactly.
Right?
And my son is here, and he is a huge Bears fan as well. So,
Okay. All right.
and I was telling you a little bit earlier. So yesterday, a fun thing happened. I was heating something up in the microwave, and we had some flames shoot out of the microwave, and I was like, "Well, that's an interesting way how to warm something up like that."
Right. What? I guess you'll
It's-
just have to leave the oven on and the AC on 65 degrees and just warm
I-
things up there. Good thing it's
yeah,
Black Friday.
yeah. Unfortunately, this is a microwave oven combo built-in deal. So yeah,
Mm.
yeah. They're not cheap. Oh well, whatever. It's a minor inconvenience, Tom, right?
Right.
It is
Right.
what
Well,
it is.
you go get the sale and you're like, is this really a sale price? Did you like
Exactly.
double the price on this thing?
Right. So you could cut it half off. Exactly.
Yeah.
I know. Whatever.
Yeah, you tripled the price and marked 70
Uh,
percent off. And you're like, hmm.
right. I am so not a consumer, Tom. I could care less about shopping. I don't ever need anything, ever. I need
Yeah.
nothing.
Well, I don't know. We get to these points in our lives where we want something and we research it and then we decide whether this is going to be a good investment, kind of. I
Mhm.
mean, sometimes we're a little bit more impulsive, but we just go buy the thing,
Right.
right?
And my family has always been angry with me over the years because, if there's something that I want, I'm cheap at heart, so I'll like wait for a sale or blah blah blah. And then everything I want like goes on sale right now.
Yeah.
So I go buy the stuff I want, and they're like, bruh, Christmas is around the corner. Now you don't have anything that we can buy you. And I'm like, oh, all right.
Bruh.
Uh,
Well, it's interesting that you brought that up because it coincides with today's topic about change and how people see things through their own set of lenses. And I've been noticing, of course, over the years doing this as, a therapist, that when we see people heal,
mhm.
improve, get stronger, advocate for themselves, this is really good. This is healthy. We want to see this. We celebrate this. Then their spouse or their family members or their friends or even their coworkers are like, wait a minute, this isn't the same person. And some people celebrate the positive changes, and other people would rather them be who they were before.
Right? Because they liked you who you were. You served their purpose and how
Mhm.
you were. It
Yeah.
was so funny. I mean, working couples counseling over the years, and you see one person, and make some changes and improve, and the other person's like, "Wait a minute, I needed. My life was great when it was codependent, and your life, circled around my universe, and all my
Right.
whims and needs were taken care of.
Yeah.
But now you're exerting independence. I don't think I like that."
Bump that. Mhm.
What's going on here? That therapist is filling you full of ideas.
Right. Well, that's what we get. That's what comes back to us,
Oh yeah.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Hmm.
I need to have a meeting with him, and there's even to the point where there's threats that have come across
Oh yeah.
the table because their partner is not performing to the expectations
Right.
of them, and that gets really challenging because we are encouraging this personal growth and we love seeing that and we're celebrating that and we're encouraging them to, set boundaries and advocate for themselves and be strong and resilient and I love all those things. However,
Mhm.
then they have to live with that new version of themselves and that can be challenging.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not comfortable. Change is hard. It's growth, and growth is difficult. um and it becomes uncomfortable sometimes, and it's like, well, now I'm thinking and doing things that I've never done before, and it feels strange.
Yeah.
It's good for you in the long run, but right now in the short term, it feels odd.
Yeah. Well, we've seen it with EMDR, not just with EMDR, with other interventions too,
Sure.
just therapy, but especially with EMDR, where somebody decides as they have healed from the past to uproot themselves, change almost everything about their lives. And maybe it's two big things in their lives and maybe not everything across the board, but maybe they realize their relationship is just not fit for the new version of themselves, nor is their career, nor is their
Hmm.
location where they're living,
Right.
nor is it engaging with family members as much as they once were. And that
Hmm.
can be challenging because now, like I said, they have to live with that new version and the
Hmm.
potential negative consequences that befall how
Hmm.
they're being responded to.
Hmm.
Sometimes the
And
easiest way is to go back to how you were before, and then that negates all the healing.
right. I mean, it's easy. It's comfortable. It's what your brain knows. It's what your body knows. It's what's comfortable. Your whole life has been built around your former self. And
Yes.
now, if you decide and make some growth and set boundaries, you have to make some changes in your life.
Yeah.
And that could be uncomfortable. And we see this a lot with the whole caretaking and codependency kind of thing,
Mm,
where it's like, I was not put on this earth to take care of others. What about me? What about my needs? What about my
right.
desires? What about this is, and when people realize, and I think therapy helps people realize that they can change their reality, right? They can change their lives. And that's what the whole point process is
Yeah.
your life is about growth, and we go through stages in life, and we learn and hopefully implement the good things that we learn and make changes and move forward. And different developmental stages is when, we talked about this a few weeks ago, when your kids become adults and move out of the house. It's like, who the heck am I anymore? I'm not a caretaker. I'm not a parent. I'm not here to cook dinner every night. I'm not here to run you to dang old soccer practice. So what am I going to do with my life? Well, rediscover yourself. Who do you want to be? What did you want to do with your time? Read, do art, exercise, go do Tai Chi on the side of a mountain.
Right. Don't be surprised if people do not appreciate that
Right.
or accept that of you.
They liked you when you made 300 cupcakes to bring to the bake sale,
Yeah.
every
Well,
holiday.
because then those expectations are formed of you
Hmm.
or of that person, who is performing in that way. And then when you're not, it's like, well, what's the matter? What's the matter with you? What's the matter with me? What's the matter with you?
Hmm. What's the matter, you? Hey.
What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's interesting, I mean, to think about people in your life that have made significant changes like that. Um, um, it's really interesting on our end to watch the growth process, you know.
Yeah. I've had many conversations with people where I'm instructing them to, find a way to display your newfound courage,
Hmm.
strength, um, in a way that might be a little bit more palatable. Now, I know you want to go full bore with this is who I am and this is what I'm going to set in place, and it's good, but that's going to shake things up, maybe a little bit too much. And so maybe there's a little bit of a softer way, a gentler way
Hmm.
a kindler, gentler way
Hmm.
about doing that. And so that way it can be, I mean, like if I won't remember where this analogy came out, but like evolutionary, um, if you have a pond and you have fish living in the pond, if you increase that temperature by 15 degrees, all the fish are going to die. But if
Hmm.
you increase it 1 degree over the next 15 years, then the fish will acclimate to that. And then when they have, young, then they will be acclimated to that and so on and so forth. So that new 45-degree higher pond will
Hmm.
be the the base, the standard, and
Hmm.
they'll live and survive in that. So if you're in a relationship and you go through therapy and you heal and you get stronger and you get past your past, these are beautiful things. You might need to go 1 degree at a time with how you implement that with the people around you so that it's a little bit more palatable and they have time to
Hmm.
acclimate to the new version of you.
Hmm. I know you want to go out and cut off all your hair and get new clothes and, run forth and, and be your new person. That's great. And you know what?
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But just know that not everybody is, at the pace that you are. So,
Yeah. Brett, you and I have our own set of lenses with which we see things when it
hmm.
comes to just navigating our lives, but also with clients. And of course, being in the field of mental health, we have some psychobabble, as we call it.
Hmm.
And that becomes frustrating. So we have somebody who comes in and we're throwing out some of these clinical terms and some of these popular non-clinical terms that just happen to be buzzwords like love bombing and gaslighting and things like that. And so we're sharing that with the person so that they can kind of conceptualize and understand what may be going on, for example, in their relationship. The challenge is that when those people take that to their partner and they start to point out those, oh, you're love bombing me right now, well, that's it's out of context and they're maybe not going to appreciate or accept that or really understand that's for you to kind of understand what's going on, from our perspective, and then how you can potentially work to change that or facilitate a change, or at least work on changing yourself so that you can accommodate, and deal with whatever that thing is. But running back and telling your partner that he or she is a narcissist is maybe not helpful.
Right. Particularly the narcissist isn't going to accept that very well.
Right.
I mean, they love that you're talking about them. I mean, that's the good point.
Yeah, right.
Maybe not in their most favorable of
Uh,
terms. So.
yeah, yeah,
But you're right, change, in my life I've embraced change many times and picked myself up and moved across the country and, just do different things. And it's good. And I have it's been a real good experience for me to promote change in my life, you know.
yeah,
Um, I got back into riding motorcycles. I was just doing different things. So it's been a really growth thing for me, and it is scary. Change is scary. But we have one short life here. I mean, remember we were all like 20, like what was it, a few months ago?
yeah,
And now
right.
we're
Well, yeah,
not.
at least a year,
But hey, you got one life, man. Live it. Do something with it.
right? Right. So change is something that is to be expected and embraced, and it doesn't come without growing pains.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly does.
Mm-hmm.
How many people come in to see us who want to change desperately, who do not like where they are? They feel stuck. And then when it comes to actually doing the work that's required to change, it sadly cannot be done for you.
Right. And as soon as they get a wee bit uncomfortable, we resort back to what we know.
Yeah.
Concept of homeostasis. Your brain will always go back to what's comfortable.
Right, exactly. Even if like there's some not good stuff that's happening.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And also, interestingly enough, I had this thought the other day, and maybe this is a topic for another podcast too. Our bodies crave, the homeostasis.
Hmm.
Our minds psychologically, we want similar to that. We want a resolution to things.
Hmm.
We want to solve, fix, eradicate a problem or an issue. I mean, that's generally what we want. And that has like morphed into, and maybe this is a stretch, but just go with me on this. Go with that. Uh,
Yeah.
when we, because it's always boggled my mind that we look at a 30-second TikTok and then suddenly the 30-second TikTok, somebody says, saunas are really good. Okay, okay. And we take that because it's nice to have a resolution. I was wondering if the sauna that we have is good and we should use it. And then this guy says, yes. saunas are underrated. You should really use that. And this is a good thing. And then all of a sudden, my brain resolves that. Okay, problem solved. I don't need to worry about whether or not the sauna is good or bad. This guy said it was really good. 30 seconds. Did I look up who the guy was or research anything about him or engage any of the critical thinking skills that I developed over the years? No, but
Right.
my brain liked it because it resolved it. And that's why people are looking up some information. They find the first three Google, links and they click on it and it gives them maybe there's a confirmation bias or maybe it's the answer that they want, good or bad, and then it's resolved in their mind and then they can move on because we want to move on. We don't want to spend an inordinate amount of time like researching and going through it. And that's not necessarily good, but I mean, that
Hmm.
shows how psychologically we move towards that. I just want this to be over with and, fixed, solved, and move forward.
Hmm. And it's so funny how people believe the little 30-second soundbite they'll see on social media, and then they'll you repeat it and pass it on or forward it or like it or whatever. And it's like, did you bother to just like do 10 minutes worth of Googling, like it, just to check it out?
Right.
And there's so much crap out there. There's so much. I mean, you can find anything that says anything you're looking for. And you're
Yeah.
right. The whole concept of confirmation bias is your brain is searching for the evidence of the hypothesis that you created.
Right.
Meaning that if I believe that the grass is blue, it's just hiding as green right now. If I look hard enough, I'll find articles, scientific journals, and all kinds of stuff about how the origins of grass are blue,
Right.
which is obviously not true, but your brain will it will ignore the 300 articles that say, you idiot, grass is green,
Yeah.
and then it'll
Right.
find the four,
Yeah.
you know, kinds of stuff. So, confirmation bias, be careful of making foregone conclusions.
Yeah. Hey, remember in grad school when you're researching and you're just like looking for those specific studies that highlight exactly what it is you want to say in your paper
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
instead of like contradictory information? But to save time, you've got
Mm.
5 papers you got to get done in a week. So I guess you don't you don't have the
Right.
luxury of like
Yeah.
looking at everything and changing your thoughts or changing your hypothesis or even writing to that. You're just like, I just got to get it done. We want that resolution. We want that quick fix. And in American society, we want that quick, easy, softer, faster way.
Hmm. So that reminded me of a story. I used to teach bachelor's level healthcare finance, and part of the class or the final project, what I did is I taught people how to write a business plan, right? Open a business. I don't care if it's healthcare. And I read so many dang business plans about opening a cat shelter. I could, if I ever see a cat shelter, whatever. Anyway, so the final project, how to write a business plan, and this really smart conscientious kid turned in his project and he was like ready to cry. And I'm like, what's going on? It's all right. It's all right. It's did you have problems with the project? And he said, no, I put a lot of work into it. And what I figured out is I can't make money at it. It's a bad business. I can't,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go broke and
Yeah.
lose my savings and say, I guess I failed the project. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's what the whole business
Right.
plan's about. You probably got an A. I mean,
Right.
I wish people that wanted to start a business would write a business plan because,
Yeah.
put a little work into it. But his brain, and how I'm tying this back is his brain told him your business went bankrupt, so you failed this project. And
Right.
that was the information that he was searching for. And he was so upset for days thinking he was going to fail this project. And
Mhm.
in fact, that's what the whole point is about.
Right.
So leaving your brain open for what the information will flow.
Yeah. So don't just take the first thing that you see. It will behoove you to spend some more time doing a little bit more researching, getting some various, we've talked about this countless times before, but we can't stress it enough. Getting various different sources and seeing what the motivation behind those sources is. What could they be? Are they
Mhm.
in cahoots with the
Right.
manufacturer? Like things like that.
Right. Google, like, here's a great example. So I have problem. I might have to buy a new microwave oven combo. And so, of course, what's the first thing you Google? Best microwave oven combos, right?
Oh,
And the top listing is going to be Mike's microwave oven
Emporium.
reporting emporium, right?
Yeah.
Where it's going to say, oh, the KitchenAids are absolutely 100% the best model, by far superior for any other brand out there.
And
Well,
Mike is an
then,
affiliate.
yeah. So Mike works for KitchenAid.
Yeah, right. But that's not like clear or present or evident,
Oh
until you
no.
dig a little bit, right?
All right.
But if you want that quick resolution, just we want to resolve it, and all of a sudden we get top
All
10 and number one, the top three are KitchenAid of different models, and then you're
right.
like, well, this one's 5 grand. That's a little bit, much, but this
Right.
one's 350. Hmm.
Yeah.
And it's number two.
Right. Hey.
That's the one for me.
Uh-huh. You know, it's funny. And someone in restaurants or told me a long time ago that they when they price wine, nobody ever buys the most expensive one, or very rarely, right? They
Yeah,
don't stock many of those, and no, and they stock very little of the cheapest bottle, right?
right.
It's always the second least expensive bottle that's like sells out. That's what they buy cases and cases of, because it doesn't matter what the wine is. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. They're not going to get the most expensive. They're not going to get the cheapest, but they'll go one up from the cheapest. That way, that doesn't make me look like a cheapskate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Uh-huh.
formulaic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I built my algorithm brick by brick.
And then funny when your algorithm goes out of whack, it's like, what is going on here?
What has happened? Hasn't that's happened to you recently, right?
Uh, Not recently, but it was like 6, 8 months ago. I was like, I don't know who has been fishing on my TikTok, but this ain't the stuff I'm interested in.
I'm kind of hating when you start looking up a couple things. Like I've been doing the guitar now, right? So
Mm,
just started month some change in, and now my entire feed for TikTok, for Instagram, everything is just acoustic guitar stuff. Chords, riffs, like easy way to play songs, and that's cool. However, like I'm just sick of it. Like I
That's
still
not
want
why.
some of that, but
That's not the totality of my existence.
yeah.
That's funny. Change, Tom. It's not just the jingly stuff in your pocket anymore.
Right. We don't necessarily like change, but we need to embrace it at times. It's okay to
Mhm.
change. In fact, it's really good. It's really healthy.
Absolutely.
So
And change is not only uncomfortable for yourself, but it's uncomfortable for the people around you sometimes,
yeah,
who have a vested interest in keeping you the way that you are sometimes.
yeah,
Most of the people in your life are going to embrace the change and happy that you're making some progress and doing some positive things in your life. But there are going to be those people that go, but I wanted you to make the 300 cupcakes this weekend. You always make the 300 cupcakes. Yeah, but I'm miserable.
right,
I spend, 4 days, no sleep, icing, coming out my ears. I'm not doing it
right.
anymore.
Yeah, right.
But how can we live without you? Well, y'all will find a way.
You'll find a way. You'll figure it out, right?
Hmm.
So I love how you said it. Change is going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to be uncomfortable for the people around you, potentially.
Hmm.
So the people who celebrate that change are definitely worth sticking around. The people who don't right away, maybe they will come around. Maybe if you
Yeah,
make it palatable for them. It doesn't mean you need to get away from them, forever for good right away. But invest some time and energy and allow them to accommodate. Maybe it's going to take them
right,
some time to acclimate to that new change. But if ultimately they cannot, and it's been several months, hopefully not years of waiting around, but if it's been several months and they still are having trouble, then maybe they're just not right the fit for you and the
all right,
right fit for you in your life.
right. And you're right. Give people grace, right? Tom, you and I, in the work that we do, we have to believe at the core level, people are good, right? And people. are compassionate and kind and want to do the right things. They don't always do that. We always fall short sometimes of our own expectations, but at the base, people are good. So if people are giving you a little grief sometimes, give them grace. You know, they're having an issue, or they're managing their own stuff. So give them grace. But there's a limit to the grace that we as people can dish out.
We have a hard time changing even when we want to change. So imagine
Mhm.
somebody being forced into having to change and
All
to
right.
accommodate, and it's not going to come easy.
All right.
So
All right, Tom, I better
you've
get
got
that.
some food to get ready and eat before football.
Uh-huh.
So
I'm just gonna light the grill, throw everything in the damn grill, and see what happens.
fantastic. What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
Thank you for being here. Have an amazing holiday then. Have a great week, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right.